Welcome to the Grumpy Guy BJJ Podcast with James Wilson and Rob Eickhoff.
Semi-seconds in automatic minutes, finishing to diminish the position that was given reason.
And we are live, back with another episode here. So, how's it going, Rob?
It's going good, James?
Good, man. Good. Yeah, so...
You know, I was thinking about this when I was listening to our last episode.
Uh-oh.
You always start out with, we are live.
Yes.
It's a little bit of a lie.
Why?
We're not live.
That's
because
true.
we put these out, like, we record them a week ahead of time.
Well, we're live.
We are live.
We are live.
But by the time you all are listening to this...
It's true.
It is not live.
But we gotta remember why we're doing this.
It's for us.
It's for us. So we are live.
And we are live for us.
So for us.
Fuck you guys, apparently.
Apparently, that's my underlying message. This whole time. We are live is a slight fuck you. I don't think that's quite my message, but no, your point's well taken.
Just curious. I'm
not
man. Criticizing. I was just thinking.
I don't know. It's just like you just get in the habit of saying
habit,
shit.
Yeah.
So, what are you gonna do?
I don't know.
But speaking of things that are live at this moment that won't be live when people listen to this, we got some jiu-jitsu going right now. Got some matches on YouTube Live.
The BJJ.
Yeah.
The Absolute Championship.
Yeah. So.
Almost like our first unofficial fight companion.
Kind of, huh? Yeah, we can sit here and see if there's anything good and like bitch about the rules or whatever. The
problem
calls.
is I'm not really sure what the rules are, and we have, being that we have it muted, so it doesn't.
Yeah, I know.
Interrupt
we can't
the conversation. We
Yes.
just got to kind of go by braille here.
So, anyways, but it's pretty cool though. It's a fucking great lineup for free.
Fuck yeah!
On
free
YouTube
on
Live.
YouTube. Yep.
So, is this the first one they've done on YouTube?
No, this was like number 13.
Okay, and they've all been available. Like, is this how it's all? Because
honestly, I'm not sure if they've all been available. You know, live. You can go back and watch pretty much all of them now, but yeah, I knew it was a big card today. So before we started recording, I was looking it up. And then I saw on their website, you said you can watch it live on YouTube. I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is one that's got Gordon Ryan and Vinny Magalhaes.
And they're the only no-gi match on the whole card.
Yeah, that's
going to be a good match.
It should be a good match. So
I seen a picture of their weigh-ins yesterday. Gordon Ryan's fucking huge, dude. Yeah. Like, Vinny Magalhaes is a big dude. Like, he's not a little guy. He does not look very big standing next to Gordon Ryan.
Yeah.
I'm sure I don't know if it was like an unlimited weight class or if they're in the same weight class. I'm not sure, dude.
Dude, yeah. I don't know, man. I know. I'm a fan of Gordon Ryan, but I do have to say, like, you go back and you look at him when he made his debut, like kind of on the scene with the EBI where he stood in and won the absolute there, and where he is now. Like, his body's changed a little bit.
A little.
Yes.
Just a little.
Just a little. He has put on some muscle. He's hit the weights and stuff like that, apparently. So, it's, again, you know, it's sport is what it is, but it is interesting. That dude is getting jacked.
Well, he's got that trainer chick that he posts videos with.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's his girlfriend also or something. She's pretty jacked.
Yeah.
And she's got him on some, she must have him on some, bodybuilding program.
Dude, he's a specimen.
Yeah.
He probably could, enter, a fucking, low-level bodybuilding competition and do pretty well just from, just naturally there. But, anyways, yeah, so that'll be a good match if that pops on here. We might have to pause the podcast and watch it or just, erase the boring commentary on our part from it. But anyways,
I just did a good job of not getting too distracted. It was a cool submission, I believe, so I didn't let it derail us too much.
Oh, sweet.
But anyways,
yeah, I know you got the fucking angle. Once again, producer Rob is hey, I'm not saying that you do this consciously. I'm just saying we found out that the microphone had been turned preferentially your way for the first 20 some odd episodes.
Well, it wasn't until...
Now we're arranging a seating arrangement that lets you watch the jiu-jitsu and I get to watch you. But no, I'm just fucking with you, too.
Our whole setup is pretty mobile. And being that we're both sitting on Swiss balls, we could very easily rotate things.
That's all right.
All right.
It's okay. I'll just rely on you as producer. Let me know if I'm missing something. So, there you go. Pressure,
You
Rob.
can put that pressure on me.
Yeah.
Whether I accept it or not.
Hey. I know. Anyways.
So,
yeah. Pre-show notes. You got anything, man? What are we talking about today? No, first off, we're talking about
we are pulling our extra grumpy card today.
It's been a little while since we've had a super grump episode.
The last one was the coaching one.
I think so. Yeah.
That you got pretty grumpy on. We're ranting pretty good.
Yep.
What was the topic of that one?
This is how to be coachable.
Yeah, how to be coachable. That's right.
Yeah, that was one where I told everybody to suck it up.
Coach doesn't
fucking
hate you.
worrying about your feelings. But anyways.
But today is going to be stupid shit white belts have said.
Yes. yes. That was a topic that came up. I had an interesting comment that will be on the list here from someone after Wednesday night's class and the basics class. And man, I was like, dude, this goes on the list. And I started thinking about it, and I was like, we need a topic. And I texted you. And I'm like, man, stupid shit white belts say. Like, you stick around long enough. And the thing is, so here's the deal. Some of the shit I've said, right? So, like, the point of this is not necessarily like, yeah, we're going to make fun of some stupid shit that people say. But hopefully there's some education taken from it in that, like, not only is this stupid, but here's why it's stupid. And hopefully you'll avoid being the person who makes that stupid comment, because you'll understand why it's stupid in the first place. But anyways, we'll dig into it.
And I'm glad you said that, because I was going to mention that also, that you and I were both stupid meathead white belts at one time. And I'm sure we've made several of these comments, or made our own.
Oh my God.
That we have just selectively forgotten.
Yeah.
In time.
Oh yeah. I've told
so
you.
We're not saying we're above these.
No.
things.
No. I think I've mentioned before, like I've literally had moments where I'm like, oh man, I need to go back and apologize to someone for just like, just saying something stupid, or, you know, not realizing that, oh, they were letting me get something or whatever, or, you know, being rowdy white belts. So all these things are mistakes that I know I've made, and, you know, Rob's made several of them, and we all make them. So it's more of an education thing than just calling people out. But we are going to have some fun with it.
We are going to have some fun with it, and we both feel like we needed to vent a little bit. We haven't been grumpy in a while, so this would be a good outlet for that.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Nice.
We're not necessarily like you said, we've both made these mistakes. I don't really plan on calling anybody out by name.
No.
And dude, I've been at this for a long time. And so these comments I had to stop my list and really distill it down just to something.
I'm really interested to hear yours, because you've been at this for longer than me.
I got one on here. I'm not letting you see my notes.
Okay.
I only have one on here that I'm almost certain that you're going to be surprised by.
Good.
But the rest, I bet you our list is the same.
Does it involve footlocks?
No.
Okay. Anyways.
No. And I stopped it. I only put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I only got like 6.
Okay. I got 5.
I figured, because we could just pick like 1 or 2 and probably just fucking rant on that.
Yeah. There's definitely some cliches with it as well. So I think I'll be interested to hear yours. I'm sure our list will probably overlap quite a bit.
Oh, I do have a little pre-show. So I got I forgot, I was going to tell you this when we were bullshitting and before we started to hit record here. I got a text from my dad. He's been listening pretty regularly.
Nice.
And our last episode about competing and getting the most out of competitions.
Yeah.
Man, he sent me, like, he hit me up and told me, he's like, yeah, man, that episode was really good. He's like, and almost everything you guys talked about, you know, not only applies, like, he's like, I don't know if it applies for jiu-jitsu. I don't do jiu-jitsu. But he's like, but it applies to life. It applies to work. And I was like, yes, I fucking struck gold, dude. I was so happy with it, because he was pretty turned off before, because he's like, you know, he didn't want to, not turned off, but he didn't really have an interest in listening to it, because it's, you know, the name of the podcast is Grumpy Guy, you know, BJJ. So you're gonna think, if you're not into jiu-jitsu, you're gonna think to yourself, well, that's not gonna interest me one bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do talk a lot about jiu-jitsu, but it is on how jiu-jitsu influences everything in our life, and how everything in our life influences the jiu-jitsu. And we run it through that filter. because we talk about that kind of shit all the time. And
Yeah.
dude, we have podcasts to where we just talk about like life shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so when he told me that, I was like, yeah, I was pretty stoked to
Nice, man.
see that and hear that. Like, yeah, I mean, yeah, we do talk about jiu-jitsu stuff, but we've said it before. Like, man, in a 5-minute match, like almost all the problems you're gonna have in life you can experience them in some form, condensed down in that 5-minute match.
Yeah.
Unless you just go in there and run through somebody.
Yeah.
But then that happens in life too.
But even then, man,
sometimes you just show up in life and fucking kick some ass.
Yeah.
But it is like life is condensed down into these small little matches.
Yeah. So yeah. It's like that. Have you read Extreme Ownership yet?
Dude, I've listened to it. I listened to it once this week. I'm on my second or my third time. It was so good.
Yeah.
In Jocko's book.
Yeah. But he talked about like, so it's basically like combat. When he talked about like how combat compresses everything down, and it makes the outcome so black and white that it allows you to learn lessons in such a hyper compressed amount of time compared to normal life. And so now it's kind of his viewpoint or breakthrough, whatever, that allowed him to start applying these lessons to larger areas. But not all of us are going to get that chance to go, be in like actual combat. But I think that jiu-jitsu and that simulated combat that you get from really any of the combat martial arts, where you're actually in there having to, mix it up with another person, gives you some of those benefits of like the mindset that you have both in the moment and how you process and view and grow on those things after the moment. They either work or they don't. Your jiu-jitsu's getting better or it's not. And yeah, it's how you're approaching that applies so directly to life that it's it's awesome, man.
It is awesome.
It is awesome. So
and I'm so glad, like, yeah, it's my dad, so obviously I'm glad that he's listening, but somebody that has absolutely no really no martial arts experience, no combat experience. I was still, picking the lessons out of the shit we're talking about.
Yeah.
So I was, not that I can teach my dad lessons, like he's teaching me.
Yeah.
But, like here, he can see where we're coming from.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool, man.
Heck yeah, man.
Okay.
No, it's good.
But yeah, that Jocko book's good. Like I said, I finally listened to it this week, and it was so good. I think I made it through a second time, and I started listening to it. I worked a lot of hours this week, so I had plenty of time to listen to shit. And when I'm listening to audiobooks, I always listen to it at like 1.5 speed.
Okay, yeah.
You might as well.
Heard that works, yeah.
It works good, dude.
That works good. I do that on videos. There's a plugin on my computer that I got on my whatever that allows you to watch videos faster. So you can go to like 2 times speed. Yeah, it's the same thing because you can still understand what they're saying. It's not like it's not unnatural yet, No. So you may as well. It's like, why am I going to sit here and spend twice as long or 1.5 times as long when you can do that? So
it all depends. Sense. For me, it all depends on who's reading it. How fast they naturally read or the sound of their voice you can get away with. But a lot of it, the reason I do a lot of it is when I'm listening to an audiobook, if I just listen to it at regular speed, being that it's like the speed of a normal conversation or somebody reading you something, then I don't have to stay as mentally engaged, and I'll catch myself daydreaming. I'll kind of check out. I'll be cruising down the road and I'll like tune out to what they said.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh fuck, how did I get here? So then I had to go back and rewind to where if I crank it up to 1.5, 2, there's some books I've listened to on like 2, 2.5, and being that I gotta stay more focused or I miss shit, like it helps me stay more engaged. Huh.
Interesting.
So not only am I getting through the book faster, so I can learn faster and whatnot, but it helps me stay more on top of it, so I don't get bored and just fucking check out.
Huh. It's good. Good tip.
It is a good tip
for all the audiobook listeners out there.
And it sounds a little crazy at first when you hear it, so don't if you're gonna try it, don't just, when you listen to your next audiobook, crank it up to fucking 2x and go.
Right.
Because it doesn't work. You're like, oh, this sucks. just start listening at like, because I think it goes up by like, your first increment's like 0.5 on the Audible app. So just kick it up to 0.5 times faster. And you right away, or real soon into that, you'll be like, oh, I don't even notice a difference.
Yeah.
So then you can crank it up by 1x. And lots of times you won't even notice a difference there. Then, well, about 1.5 is where you'll start noticing. But if you slowly, work your way up, you just get used to it.
Yeah.
And then from now on, whenever you start listening to a book, you already got it set up to 1.5, and then you go back to normal speed. You're like, why is this guy talking so slow?
Yeah. That's what's killed me, dude. The worst part about the video, because the only thing I watch online really is, jiu-jitsu instructionals. And then you go to watch a DVD and you can't speed it up like that. And it's like, dude, this is taking so long. Like, just say what you need. Yeah, once you go back to normal speed. So it's really made it tougher for me to get DVDs. It's just another reason that, like, DVDs. It's like, man, I got this piece of plastic. I don't even have a DVD player in my living room.
I was just gonna ask you that.
No. So if I want to watch a DVD, I got to come in here and throw it in my PlayStation or my Xbox and watch it that way. But yeah, like DVDs are becoming such an interestingly rare thing, and you can just get it online and stream it, and then you can speed it up and control it better. But yeah, man, it's like, man, listening to somebody say, okay guys, like okay guys, like when you're 2 times faster, it's okay, and then you go back to normal speed and you're just like, oh my god, man, this is killing me. So it's
crazy. We're so used to having so much access to information wherever we want.
I know, we're bitching about it.
I know, and now we're all to the point to where, like, we like to watch shit faster.
Yeah,
it's crazy when you really think about it, man. Because when I first started jiu-jitsu, my first instructionals that, like, my coach gave me, he let me borrow, I think it was like a Mario Sperry instructional. It was VHS tape. Right. So just fucking put that, think about that. I was literally watching my first it was like an MMA jiu-jitsu or no-gi jiu-jitsu instructional. And it was Mario Sperry VHS tape.
Huh, yeah. I know, man, it's crazy. We're so fucking spoiled. So.
And now we're on our phones speeding that shit up.
Yeah.
2x.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. But actually, speaking of DVDs, I get the BJJ box every month, which is pretty cool. Sometimes they got some interesting stuff, like when they gave me a can of oxygen.
Have you used that thing yet?
Oh, fuck yeah. After training, every time I'm over there like I'm just doing it more because I got it.
Because you have it.
But yeah, I get some good instructionals in it, and they gave I know I mentioned this before, but in the last one I got the Hingertine from Josh Hinger, and yeah, that was a good one. I like that. It's been, I mentioned to you when we've been talking, like, there were a couple like really good tips that he's gotten that have kind of helped. I haven't pulled one off yet because people are like, they don't like you grabbing their chin for some reason. I don't know why, but anyways, it at least is like, was good. But yeah, I mean, it's funny that you watch an instructional. I think that's the thing, like, why, I like to watch them faster, because I don't really like to watch TV shows faster or anything like that. Like, because I'm being entertained with that, and I'm trying to, like, get some information. And the reality is, like, we've talked about this in the seminar one, like, DVDs, instructionals are kind of the same. The reality is you're going to watch that thing and you're going to come away with like 1 or 2 key details or something that you're going to get. But like, that's a tough thing, is like, well, is that really worth that hour investment? And it's like, it's tough, right? So, that's why you try to, like, if you can, watch them faster or whatever. But the thing is enough of those little details added up over time, and they make a difference in your jiu-jitsu. For sure. So it's that yin and the yang, like the instructionals, you can definitely overdo them. The time investment, what you actually get out of them isn't necessarily like, a great investment in that moment, but they do have value, man. You'll see things and get exposed to things. So
they definitely have value, and that is most time how I watching it. An instructional is prior to class or drills class or just regular class or open mat. like I'll put it in and just watch a couple techniques. Like it's something I've been working on, and I'll just watch it, just a few, just so they're fresh in my mind. They're there, cool, and then I'll go train. And then if something didn't work when I get home, I'll put it on, like, what did I miss? Why couldn't I make that work? I was like, then I'll put it on and watch it again and be like, oh, I was screwing up that detail.
Yeah.
That's really most of the time how I consume, just to sit down and just watch all the way through. Like, you're not going to retain fucking any of that, man.
I know, man.
You're not going to retain. Like, the way best, it's really best if, like, you can, like, if you have somebody there, like, you train with your wife, like, you put on an instructional, like, oh, check this out. And then you can kind of play with it as you're like what's he doing there? And then you do the move on somebody, like, oh, okay.
I've done that before. I've come busting out of the room and like I've grabbed Shiloh before. Like, all right, lay down. I gotta try this real quick and see what he's doing, how this is feeling. But yeah, it's definitely being able to use them that way is good. I mean, God, there was another one that was a back take one, and it had like 50 different fucking techniques or something for taking the back. And again, I came away with like a couple really good details on some things that have helped me. Like, I've actually had a much better time, especially from like turtle, when someone turtles, being able to like use the cross face and the crotch pry or whatever you want to call it, and then shoving the knee into the hole and having them fall on the knee. Like, realizing if I can get them to fall on top of my knee, like, oh well, there's the back. I just got to keep shoving the knee through. It was a really good detail I got from it. But then they got 50. There was 50 fucking other things, and it's like, man, I don't remember shit from those other things. But yeah, it's an interesting thing, because you can definitely get sidetracked by them. But I'm sure we'll have more to say about that when we get into the stupid shit White Belt says. There's definitely a couple things that revolve around instructionals or YouTube or something like that. But anyways, I wanted to know, did you listen to that Matthew Walker interview on Joe Rogan, the sleep expert
the sleep
guy?
Yes, I did.
Holy shit. I'm not all the way through it yet. I'm like halfway, maybe a little bit more. But dude, that is some really, really, really insane shit.
Yeah.
That he talked about that. Like, honestly, if you haven't heard it, like, I would highly recommend it. Like, listen to that. It was Matthew Walker. I don't know what episode it was, but yeah, on the Joe Rogan Experience. Pretty recent.
Past week or two.
Yeah, by the time people listen to this, he comes out with so many fucking episodes.
That'll be, by the time this comes out,
I know.
3 or 4 weeks ago.
I know. But anyways, yeah, dude, crazy shit about sleep.
It's fucking important, man.
Super important.
Yeah, I don't know where you're gonna go with this. I'll interrupt.
No, go with it, man. I just kind of wanted to throw it out there and see what you thought. Like,
no, great. It was a great episode, great information, and I think they touched on this too. Is for especially a lot of us guys, we like to use it as a badge of honor. Like, I don't need that much sleep, man. I can run on fucking 4 or 5 hours a night.
Yes.
Man,
yeah.
Just fuck right off of that. We need sleep.
Oh, it made me feel so much better.
Yeah, 7-8 hours. I think he was like, basically he was saying like 7 to 9.
7 to 9.
Kind of depending on the person, and it is. I think he said that women definitely need more sleep on the average. Obviously we're talking about the mean.
Yeah.
There's outliers on either end always, but yeah, they usually require closer to that 9 on a more regular basis.
Yeah.
But yeah, how important sleep is.
Dude, the stat that got me was when he was talking about, and maybe it's because I was listening to it on the way home, where he talks about daylight savings time. And when you lose an hour of sleep, the month following daylight savings time, where you lose the hour, they see an increase in heart attacks by 24% over the previous month. And then the month where following where you gain that hour of sleep back, they see a decrease in heart attacks of 21%. Like, it's insane the physical effect. Talking about the cancer killing parts of your immune system. Like, if you get 4 hours of sleep, and they see a decrease in that of 70%. And it's just crazy. And I think I've mentioned this before. You get in today's society, especially the social media driven bullshit, you start to feel like, man, if I sleep for 7-8 hours at night and I take a nap during the day, I am a soft piece of shit. And you forget that this image is being driven by people who may be outliers, right? Like I also liked how he put it, like if you took all the people who can actually get away with less than 6 hours sleep and it not physically affect them and express it as a percentage of the population, it would be 0%. Like, yes, they exist, but they're so infinitesimal. If you think you're one of them, you're fucking most likely wrong. But they do exist. And then, so you get these outliers, and then you put them on Adderall or some of these other fucking drugs that, you know, again, it's the dirty little secrets in a lot of these high performer circles. And you get this really skewed vision of what you actually should be doing. And again, going back to school, right? They got you getting up early, training you, fuck your sleep, you need to show up for us. Dude, it's wild. And the whole drowsy driving thing. And yeah, it was...
Yeah, it's talking about you take those little micro sleeps.
Yes!
When you get tired.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of the car accidents come in.
Dude, like the number one cause of death. Isn't that what he said? It was like the number one cause of death in like the Western world is car accidents directly related to drowsy driving. And number 2 is suicide. Or that was flipped. I can't remember which was one and which was... But it was like... That was it. And I was talking to Kelly earlier, like, man, so if you think about it, the 2 number 1 killers in our society are driving in an artificially sleep-deprived state that our society puts this pressure on us to be in, and then feeling so alienated from everything and everybody around you that you just want to kill yourself. What the fuck, man? Like, that is just a really wild thought to think. Like, that is the byproduct. That's the fruits, the byproduct of the fruit of our fucking society is creating these conditions that are just completely foreign to humans, man. And we don't know how to deal with them. We don't have. It's so new to us mentally. But man, diving into like how sleep was for memory and learning stuff. Man, I've experienced that, like dreaming about jujitsu.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude. I've solved like some fucking funky problems, like come out of a sleep and like I can't really put my finger on it, but like all of a sudden something makes more sense, or I saw something in a dream and like it like starts to happen when I'm rolling. So, yeah, I don't know. Have you had that?
You know what's funny is even before listening to that podcast, I've done this for a lot of years. Like, there'll be many nights to where like the last thing I like to see before I go to bed, and be that I don't like to look at a screen right before I go to bed. Like, I'll do it before I jump in the shower. Like, I'll just grab one of my instructionals or a match, and I'll watch a move real quick. And I'll just move I've been working on. I'll watch it maybe a couple times through. Cool. Jump in the shower, go through my routine, get to bed. I might read or something, but still, one of the last things I
programming your brain right before you go to sleep.
Before I go to bed.
Here's my problem.
And then I go to bed and I'll have dreams about it. Whether I remember them or not.
Right.
But I don't know where I picked that up. I picked that up years ago.
Yeah.
And it's something I still to this day will do quite a bit.
Yeah, I think it's super important. Yeah. I remember doing that when I had my Kevin's mount is still fucking suffocating as hell, but I had my pit where I'm like, this is it. I'm fucking fed up with it. I got to figure out how to make them at least get me with something else, And that night I went to bed and I was like programming my brain. I knew it. I was like, man, I'm giving my brain this problem. I'm gonna go to sleep tonight. And I'm gonna fucking dream on it or whatever, and come up with some sort of solution. And I'm still waiting for the solution to fully present itself, but. Yeah, like if you pre-programming your brain before you go to sleep is so important. It's something that people just take for like granted. They don't think about, but also it speaks to like how important it is not to consume shit before you go to bed. Like, that's why the worst thing that you can do right before you go to sleep is be looking at Facebook or looking at your email or something like that, and like inputting that into your brain and then trying to go to sleep. And it's going to affect the quality of your sleep. It's going to affect the fucking dreams that you have and your opportunities to like use that time to improve things that actually matter. Not have it like pointed in a direction towards like, I can't believe so-and-so made this fucking comment about my picture or whatever. It's like, shut the fuck up, right? We need to get better at arm bars, motherfucker. So that's what you should be thinking about.
And one thing I took from that, and it's something I've known, but I'm so glad, there's people out there doing the research, and just something I like to talk about is how important sleep is just to your overall health, mental, physical, fucking everything. And it's such a low-hanging fruit that it's overlooked.
It's overlooked. It's too easy.
It's too easy because it's comfortable. But that's the idea. And man, like good sleep, moderate physical activity on a regular basis, and decent nutrition. Like that's all you need.
Yeah.
You don't need the latest and greatest fucking workout program. You don't need to do jiu-jitsu, which I mean you do in my eyes. But you know what I'm saying? Like
you need something though. Yeah.
For your average, like you go to those blue zones where these people live. You know, they got people living for 100 fucking years. You know, and you got all these. Dude, they're not. It's not a village full of CrossFitters.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
These people.
They're just doing their thing.
They're just doing their thing, man. They're fishing and farming almost all day long.
Yeah.
You know, moderate physical activity. They're not out there doing high intensity fucking interval training. They're just taking care of their farm. You know, whatever the fuck they're doing, right? Going for walks, eating clean food. They're not eating fucking cupcakes and ho-hos and shit. And they're sleeping good every night. That's what they're doing, dude. That's all they're doing. That's what you need to be doing. And it's, like I say, it's such low-hanging fruit. And it depends on who it starts where, like the chicken or the egg. Like, okay, so if you eat shitty fucking food, you're not going to sleep good.
Yeah, it's going to affect your sleep.
It's going to affect your sleep. You know, if you're consuming a, bacon double cheeseburger from McDonald's right before you go to bed, you're going to have heartburn. It's going to wake you up in the middle of the night. You're not going to feel good. You're not going to sleep good. So the next day you feel a little bit shittier. You know, and it just is vicious.
Well, then you get that lack of sleep, and the lack of sleep
then you're
affects
tired.
your metabolism.
So then you don't feel like going for a fucking walk after you eat or this or that. Like, man, you gotta take care of those simple things.
Yeah.
And then then is what happens with a lot of people. They let themselves get overweight, and then they develop the sleep apnea. Or even there's people that are in really good shape. You know, just big muscly dudes. You know, guys that get big strong necks that'll develop sleep apnea. And they don't realize it. You know, they're tired on a regular basis, but it's because they're not fucking sleeping at night. You know, some of that can be corrected with, nutrition too. You know, not eating certain things before you go to bed and yada yada. But
just losing some weight.
It's
like unnatural in the human body. It's like, even like bodybuilders, it's like that's not natural.
No.
Right? It's like it's so the human your frame can naturally and healthily support a certain amount of fat and muscle, and you go too far in either extreme and it's going to have like health effects on the body and yeah, man, but sleep it is. It's just, it's weird, man. It's just thinking about the impact that society has on how we view stuff, right? So our society, for example, this is turning around, but views like, in general, marijuana, bad, alcohol, good. It's because it's this arbitrary thing. And it's just, you can go back and you can look and you can see like, oh, that's why we think this way as a society. It's not really like based in anything, fucking real. It's just this story that led to this fucking explanation. And it's the same thing with sleep, because you look at, the founders of our country, the Puritans and, the Quakers and these fucking people that came over here, and like part of their religion was, dude, sleep is for the weak. Like, you're up at the crack of dawn working on the farm all day long, and the only day that you get to rest is on Sunday, and that's it. And because I remember as a kid, like, it was kind of like instilled in me from my parents, and it was instilled in them from their parents that like, get the fuck up. Like, you don't need to be sleeping in, and sleep is for the weak on some level. But it's so, and you struggle with it when you get older. Like, I've struggled with it. Like, listening to that podcast was awesome for me, because I'm coming out of it, literally, I feel like a weight's been lifted off my shoulders. Because, like, I struggle. Like, I do naps is one thing. Like, I need a fucking nap in the afternoon. Like, every once in a while, it's not like I need it. But on an average day, man, I feel like I need a fucking nap. I get tired. And so to hear him say, like, well, yeah, because that's natural and normal. And your body's actually producing, the hormones that make you sleepy between 2 to 4. And you look at hunter-gatherer societies, and especially when it's warm, they would take a nap. It's where the fucking siesta came from. So it's normal. It's what we're supposed to be doing. And so, yeah, but our society just so undervalues sleep. And I thought it was interesting, because he was talking about how as employers, they overvalue people who undervalue sleep, even though those people are statistically the ones who are going to be the least productive when they're there working for you. So it's like you want the employees that are going to be the most productive for you during the time that they're there, not the ones who are just willing to just be there the most. And so, anyways, yeah, I thought it was it's a fascinating, the shit he's talking about is just crazy. So
yeah, because I remember didn't he mention that it was very common, way back when, that a lot of farmers would have their big meal at lunchtime. I think you brought that up.
Yeah, I haven't quite got. If you missed that,
I think so. I mean, I listen to a ton of fucking podcasts. So yeah. I might be putting something else together, but he talked about they would have their big, because they'd be working hard all morning.
Yeah.
And they work up that appetite. So their biggest meal of the day, instead of being dinner, would be lunchtime, and then they go back out in the field, bust their ass all afternoon. Into the evening when the sun starts setting, and then they would have a light meal, just to kind of replenish themselves for the day, and then they would go to bed. And God, how did he talk about? Oh, it didn't start until we started shoving people into factories to work, because you're busting your ass all day. You don't have a ton of time to have a big meal during the day. You're away from home, so then you get home and then you have a big dinner. That's where that came from.
Yeah.
Instead of actually being outside doing physical hard work. So that's how we got programmed. It wasn't because it was good for us. Yeah. It wasn't good for us to have, work all day, have 3 meals a day, and a big dinner at home when you get home from work, and then go to bed. Like, that's, no.
Yeah, it's just another one of those society things
societal
if you don't realize how much that affects you. It wasn't
because it was good for us.
Yeah.
That was just because we were cogs in a fucking machine.
Yeah.
Getting, shoved into factories to make trinkets.
Yep.
And that's just what fit.
Yeah, dude. That's going to be the toughest thing, man. Like this movement from the Industrial Revolution to the Technological Revolution, which is really, it's freeing people from, they don't have to be those fucking cogs in the machine as much.
We're at the beginning of that right now.
I know.
It's very early stages.
Yeah. I know. But it's going to be interesting, because there's going to be some fucking birth pains between trying to get out of the mentality of realizing, wow, there's a lot of things that we were doing as a society that really they don't make sense. They make sense in the terms of the times that they were created, but that's not where we're at now. And you look at, historically, that's not ever where we were. And so trying, and realizing, man, the effect this shit has on rates of depression and suicide and all these other things, having to, change. It's going to be tough. When you're talking about the school system, the schools that change their start times from 7:30 to 8:30 or 9, and one seeing this 30% decrease in driving accidents among the teens, which goes to show just how much fucking drowsy driving is going on out there with kids just trying to keep up with their schoolwork and shit.
Well, and they just kept moving, that start time for kids in school up, just to accommodate, parents
who are being asked to be to work earlier and earlier.
And so if they got to be to work at 7 a.m., but kid doesn't, little Joey doesn't start school until 9, what the fuck are you do with the kid?
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
So they're like, obviously more than one family has that problem. And so the school's like, well, we'll just move the start time up to 7.
Yeah. It's just fucking crazy. I know. I'm shipping Shiloh out off to school, watching her walk out the door, and I'm like, dude, she is tired. And it's hard.
What time does she got to be to school?
She's got to be to school at, it was 7:45, 7:30, 7:45. So they usually leave here about 7:10. So she's got to get up at around 5:30
that's early.
It's pretty early, man. And she's, obviously, I will say she's, she doesn't move at the fastest pace in the world in the morning. So obviously, I could squeeze that into 45 minutes, but she's a 13-year-old girl. It's she's taking a shower, she's getting her shit done. But so she's not. I'm just saying, she's waking up at 5:30 because she needs that much time to get breakfast, put the dishes away, because we ask her to help with the dishes, take a shower. So there's nothing crazy, but she still needs that to get that in before she's able to go to school. She's got to get up at 5:30, and she's going to bed at 9:30, and so technically that's 8 hours, but
yeah, but how often do you go to bed and fall
kid.
asleep right away?
Yeah,
and sleep solid all night.
Right. And
dude, a growing ass kid. I mean, she's 13 years old. She is growing.
Yeah.
Like she needs more than 8 hours of sleep. She would probably operate best like 9-10 hours of sleep.
Oh, I know.
You know what I mean? Like these kids need their sleep.
You know who else operates better with that much sleep? Her parents. You don't have to fucking get up and take her to school.
Yeah.
But
yeah, especially, I mean, we need it. We do better 8 hours of sleep, but a growing kid, they need fucking sleep, man.
I know, man. They got her school. If she wants to do a sport, she's got homework, she's got band, and like, they're just giving her more homework next year. Every year they add, it's like 10 minutes for every grade that they're in, and it's just like, man, this is insanity. Like, you guys are just the messages that our fucking system sends our kids is just insane. Like, your sleep isn't valuable. That's the least valuable thing for you. Like, just suck it up and just take this pill here, Yeah, it's insane, man.
I was thinking...
all of our kids are on speed. Like, why are they all on speed?
Yeah, I was thinking a lot about this when this podcast came up. And, yeah, like, man, how do you even begin to fix it? Like, where does the problem start and end? Like, fuck, dude. It's such a big systemic, societal issue.
Yeah.
And fuck, where do you even begin to fix it?
I mean, honestly, on some level, I think that it starts with the individual, and I think it starts with society and people who understand what's going on. Like, we've given too much to the system. You know what I mean? Like, it used to be like educating your kid and bringing them up was your job as a parent, not the school's job. And so what's happened is we've basically farmed out a lot of raising and educating of our kids to the school system. And now we feel helpless because the school system is this like fucking monolithic thing that individually we can't fucking change, right? And it's doing all these we see that, like, man, this is not good. What do we do? I mean, I know for me, like, I don't know, that it's going to be tough, but like, I'm not going to send Shiloh to that school. If I have to homeschool her, if I'm able to find some other option, whatever it is, and that's not easy. But like, I think that's one of the reasons. There's a lot of reasons, but like, homeschooling kids is getting a lot more popular. And I think just as more people, especially as you get more people who, as themselves, like myself, like I came up in the system. I was lucky enough because of the technological revolution to be able to carve a living for myself outside of kind of the standard industrial revolution type jobs. So so I'm able to see, like, holy shit, this is fucking a crazy rat race going on over here, and this is all insane, and this, look at what the school system's teaching our kids, and to get them into the system and all this stuff. No, like, I'm taking control back. And so I just think it's like more and more people kind of wake up because they themselves are able to extract themselves from the system, and then they're looking and realizing, like, why the fuck am I preparing my kid to go into this system that I've gotten out of? I don't know, man. I think that it'll happen on like a grassroots level, but you're not going to see some massive change in the school system.
I think,
or it's just too
I think you're on the right, train of thought there. But we're seeing it. We kind of come back to what we were talking about we're at the beginning stage of this technological revolution,
right?
Because more and more people are in your similar situation to where, like, you don't have to go to work every day. You're working, but you're working
right, yeah.
To where there's still the majority of us are like me. We're still in the fucking rat race, and so how many families are out there that both mom and dad are in the on the hamster wheel grinding it out every day. So they don't have a choice. Those kids have to go to school, 'cause they got bills to pay.
Oh yeah.
So they get themselves into a situation where they both have to work because they got bills to pay, but they still got kids to raise. So yes, the kids, we can't homeschool them. They got to go to school.
Now we'll stop you real quick. How much of that shit that they're working for is stuff they don't need?
Exactly.
Okay, like I just want to There's a lot of people who say I have to work this job and we both have to work, and it's like, man, there's a lot of shit that you have that you don't need.
Oh yeah.
And so you're voting with your time. Like what you're saying is that your time, that stuff is more valuable than necessarily your kids and your ability to influence them, like I'm talking about. But anyways, there are people though who legitimately are in that position. Like to survive on a decent level, it requires that, and that is a lot of people. There's a fucking shit ton of people who that's where they're at.
But you are correct. There is a ton of people that have created their own prison.
Yes.
Because they want all this materialistic shit. They want the newest car. They want the newest motorcycle, the boat, the fucking jet ski. The list goes on and on. They want a fucking 75-inch TV. They want fucking this. They want that. And so they got this lifestyle. They got all this, quote-unquote cool shit. But that cool shit's owning them.
Yeah, they gotta work.
They gotta fucking bust their ass. Like, oh man, I gotta have 60 hours a week to make these ends meet.
Yeah.
It's...
The stuff you owns eventually ends up owning you, man.
Yep.
Fucking Fight Club, bro.
It is, dude.
There's so many good quotes from that fucking movie,
that's such a
man.
good fucking movie.
That was one I remember. That like the whole scene. Like, do you know what a duvet is? Like, why the fuck do you know what a duvet is? Like, how does that help you in the hunter-gatherer sense, right? Like an artist. Like, how does that help you in the fucking people up or not getting fucked up sense?
Yeah.
And well, why do you know this? Because you're a fucking consumer. Like, dude, that movie just blew my mind. I just remember just like. Again, like if you weren't there, like there's like Fight Club fucking was a monumental movie.
There was two movies for me that were on that same level that just fucking blew my mind. And then right at a young time in my life, it was late 90s, I think, early 2000s maybe.
Yeah.
Was Fight Club and then the first Matrix.
Oh, dude!
Both those movies together. If you want to, if anybody listening that hasn't seen those movies, and you want a fucked up weekend and you go back to work on Monday morning, watch Fight Club one day and then The Matrix on Sunday and then try to talk yourself going back into work on Monday morning.
Dude, I know. I try to explain to Shiloh, because we watched The Matrix the other day, and I'm trying to explain to her like how monumental this movie was. Both the premise and the things that they were exploring and the fucking just the graphics. Like people... Now it's every movie does it.
Right.
But the first time that Neo fucking... and the bullets are fucking going around him and you're just like, what the fuck? Like I didn't know this was possible. I did not know that this was possible. Anyways, yeah, but it's hard. If you weren't there, man, it's hard to understand. But...
in The Matrix, for me, like... The special effects and shit, yeah, they were cool, they were entertaining. But even from the very first time I saw that movie... I didn't give a fuck about any of that. I was like, holy shit.
No, yeah.
Like, we are in the fucking Matrix.
Are you?
What?
Yeah.
Like, why did I take that blue pill? Like, fuck, I should have taken the red pill.
Should have taken the red pill.
I started looking, it's funny. There's been a couple of big decision-making, times in my life, in jobs, careers, moves. And they were, looking back at them, they were basically me, like, there was a Morpheus in my life saying, hey, take this blue pill or this red pill.
Yeah.
You take this, you take the fucking blue pill, you just go back to your normal life, and everything is how you like it. You take this red pill, shit's about to get different. And I chose the fucking blue pill, man, and I'm still on the goddamn hamster wheel.
Yeah, man.
You look back at some of those decisions.
Yep.
Yep.
It is. It's, yeah. Those are fucking good movies,
Good
man.
fucking movies.
Good movies. So
your shit owns you. You need sleep. How do we even get down to that rabbit hole? Matrix and Fight Club.
Just because, honestly, man, the reason that there's a sleep deprivation problem in this country is because a lot of people are working way too hard at jobs they hate for shit they don't need, and that was one of the central themes of Fight Club, and the fact that we fucking still haven't figured that out. That people are still running the hamster wheel. Because again, I gotta say, like, I will say, like, for you though, I respect, like, you're not working for, again, from like just a basic survival standpoint maybe, but like, dude, you're not working for a bunch of shit you don't need. There's a lifestyle that your job allows you that you've been able to select. So even though you're still in the rat race, you're kind of you've been able to job the system a little bit because you understand that you're in the Matrix. And so, like, okay, well, I'm not going to fall for, getting all this debt, and then I'm having to work for shit I don't need, and now I'm working this job or these hours, you know what I mean? So just even that consciousness lets you play the game more effectively. You realize it's a fucking game.
You realize the game you're playing.
Yeah.
You understand what you're doing.
Yeah. So even if you're not able to like get out of the game completely, you can still at least play the game way more effectively if you're aware of it and know where the pitfalls are and how to avoid them. So I'd say the number one there is fucking debt, man. That's like, God, was that the name of the book? I think it was Debt. That's another one, man, you should throw on your list. If you want to rethink debt and just in the historical significance and context of it, that's a really, really interesting one. And how a lot, like, you realize that, I mean, credit cards and stuff like that are just modern day slavery, just in disguise. Like, when you look at, like, what slavery normally was, it was tricking poor farmers into owing more money than they could pay, and oops, poor farmer has to go work it off, and you would have time. So again, even the whole idea of like you know, a societal thing, we've been trained to think that, man, you have a debt, you owe that debt, like to have like the it shouldn't be discharged, like you should fucking have to pay it back. And realizing, like, throughout history, that's actually a pretty new idea. That even reading that Plutarch book, man, I've read several instances where they've talked about forgiving debts, like going into areas or going into towns, and like fucking everybody's a slave to a few people because of the debts, and they go in there and they're just like, no, you know, and debts are gone, and here's some free land. And so this redistribution of wealth, basically, when things get really lopsided because of how the people with money and know how to use it are able to manipulate people that don't have money and aren't necessarily as wise to this stuff, able to manipulate them into situations that make it advantageous for them. Like, when things get really out of whack that way, things get interesting. And so anyways, it really made me rethink a lot of my ideas on debt. But the point is like, you're fucking, dude, that's like the number one way to keep you running in that rat race. So if you can avoid that, man, And
dude, there's so many opportunities for you to get into debt. Like, dude, almost every day when I go to the goddamn mailbox, there's credit card applications in there.
I know.
Dude, I work for a delivery company, and I deliver pallets full of shit. Dude, the other day, I picked up from this big printing shop here in town, like 10 pallets full of fucking junk mail. Yeah, I see it because you kind of see a couple of them. Like, and a lot of it was like credit card application, you know, and like Discover and shit like this. Like, dude, 10 pallets just stacked like fucking 10,000 pounds worth of junk mail.
Dude, it's crazy. Yeah.
I'm like, what in the motherfuck, dude?
Dude, you remember that Seinfeld where Kramer tried to get out of the postal system? He tried to get rid of his, I think he like walled off his box or whatever, and like, he's like, I don't need anything, you know?
I get so dude, like, every day you go to the mailbox, and almost every day it's junk mail,
dude. That's all it is, man. That's all it is.
Fucking junk mail. Credit card applications.
Did you want to hear something really irritating? Somehow, because I once had a fitness training facility, I don't know if they thought that I sold fucking shoes, like, at my fitness training facility. I have gotten on the mailing list for footwear news, man. Every 2 weeks, or maybe every week, man, I get this magazine, like little mini magazine sized publication from Footwear News that is like, it's basically just, it's advertising some stories, but it is just a lot of like, you know, promoting industry shit. And I'm sure the people in it have to like pay to, you know, there's some, I know how these things work, right? Like, even though this is an article, something happened that allowed this article to go in there more often than people would like to know for a lot of these things. I can't get those motherfuckers to stop sending it to me. I have called them. I have emailed them. They're like, okay, you're off our list. Fucking 2 weeks later, shows up again, man. I cannot get rid of Footwear News. And it followed me from my old house, man.
Oh, God.
From my old house. I'm at my, anyways, fucking, if anybody is listening from Footwear News, take me the fuck off your list, man, please. Yeah. I'm begging you.
I feel the same way about phone books. You know, just in this little town we live in, there was like 3 or 4 companies that fucking still make phone books. Which, first of all, it's the year 2018. When was the last goddamn time you used a phone book to look up a fucking phone number?
Anything, dude.
Anything. It is the biggest waste of fucking just paper, time. Like
I'd agree with you, but they're still doing it, which tells me that, like, I don't know, there may be money somewhere. Where's the house of cards? But because there's several things that you look at. Like, me and you are like, there's no way. Like, I agree with you, but then the other part of me is like, they're able to find enough assholes to pay money to keep this thing going. So there must be enough people using it on some level.
But who, man?
Man, they're 80 years old. These are the people that I'm telling you. Like, when I tell you, like, when Joe Rogan's like, everyone's attached, we should just get rid of the fucking president, everybody vote on shit on the internet. And I'm like, dude, you don't understand. There's still people out there that use phone books. Like, we're not all that dialed in and connected. Like, even though in our like, we are, and we think there's an amazing amount of people out there that'll still go to the goddamn phone book, bro.
And they deliver them for free. You don't have to buy phone books. And there was 4.
They're all advertising.
The only reason I know is because there was 4 companies here in town that did them. Because I went through the painstaking fucking process of getting them to stop delivering to my house.
Wow, that is painstaking. Would you sit on the front porch with a gun when you saw the dude driving around with
I can't remember the exact process, but they don't make it easy, dude. And I've been successful with 3 of them. And there's a 4th company that I've called, emailed, logged into their fucking thing, and shut it off. That phone, whenever it comes out, that phone book still shows up at my goddamn house. I cannot get them to stop delivering that fucking phone book.
Yeah.
And it's like, God, I just have to take that. So you're just creating one extra step for me. I get home and I see that. It's just like I go to my mailbox and get the goddamn credit card applications. Then I come home, I see my fucking phone book, and I just take them all and go right to my fucking
right to
my recycle bin.
Yeah.
Like, motherfucker, man, we're just creating trash. You just stuff trash in my mailbox. You drop trash off at my fucking front door, and now I got to put it in a receptacle. Now I got to pay a fucking trash man to come to my house to pick the fucking shit up.
Yeah.
Like, God damn it, man. What are we doing here?
I have no idea, dude. It is such a wild thing
Weird.
when you think about it.
It is. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
It's just that fucking hamster wheel, man.
Yeah.
God
It
damn
keeps it going.
My blood gets pumping when I was like, every time I gotta go from I do it fucking daily. I go from my mailbox, I get home, right to my recycle bin.
Yeah.
Mailbox, right to my fucking recycle bin.
Yeah, and at least 80%. I mean, most days it's fucking 100%.
100%. That's
just
all
like,
it is fucking junk.
There you go, man. Yeah. Yeah, I know. If you owe a bill, they'll fucking email you. I mean, it's just, it's insane. I don't know what you need it for. They fucking text me. Verizon, I can't get them to stop texting me that I owe them money. It's like, motherfucker, I know. Like, you've emailed me. You sent me a bill in the mail. Now you're waking me up on a Sunday afternoon with a fucking text saying, hey, your bill's due. It's like, man, you know what does not make me want to pay my bill right away? Waking me up from a nap, asshole. So, bring it back to the sleep thing. Man. Anyways. There you go. So that's what I got there.
Another rant.
Fucking A, dude. Yeah.
Alright, so now we're fired up.
Now we're all fired up.
Shit white belt say.
Stupid shit.
Stupid shit white
belt say.
You want to go first, or do you want me to kick it off?
I want to hear what's
I'm not going to break out the real surprising one first.
No. I want to hear your first normal one.
First one on my list is that wouldn't work on me if I was going 100%.
Yes.
When I heard this, I've heard this more than one time in my jiu-jitsu career. One in particular circumstance, I remember this, is I was probably only like a 2-3 stripe blue belt or something. And this young athletic kid came in, like wrestling background, you know the character, right?
Oh yeah.
Fit, an animal. And we're wrestling, and he's going hard, and I triangle choke him. He taps, reluctantly after he's fucking blowing snot bubbles out. You know what I mean? Like, not cooperating, not a good training partner. And all huffy, he's like, we get done with the round. He's like, well, that shit, and he said, that shit wouldn't work on me if I was going 100%. I was like, all right, man, fuck it. Let's go 100%. You can come at me as hard as you want. Of course, I did the exact same fucking thing to him. But, that was my first one on the list.
Dude, that's funny. That's up there, I think, with the one I called you about. I just technical stand my way out of that one. That's like my new fucking thing, dude. I'm just gonna be like, I can technical stand my way out of that. But yeah, a similar thing where we had someone visiting, and I was showing just basically it's like, you know, again we don't have video here, but you're stepping in for the knee cut pass. They defend the knee cut pass. Here's some options. It's fucking like guard passing 101. And he told me after class, he's like, well, you know, I don't think that'd really work. I just don't see how like you'd be able to get someone in that situation. So he said, I see why you were teaching that to the white belt class, because it's the white belts, but it wouldn't work on like, you know, someone who knew what was going on. And then he's like, yeah, I just technical stand my way out of that. I was like, man, that's a fucking okay. Like I couldn't tell if he was joking or not, man. I was so wished you were there, man. I was like, man, I wish Rob was having this conversation with him. I would love to see the look on his face when this guy said this. And but no, he was serious. And so I was like, man, I just got to get your ankle. You wouldn't be able to technical stand your way out of that if I get your ankle. And so yeah, he's like, oh, I want to, you know, blah blah blah. And anyways, yeah, he tries to technical stand up like at 100%, like all fast, and I grabbed his ankle, snatched it out, timed it, you know, did the pass that I was showing in the class, and get around, and his response was, so I just got to be faster.
Oh, God.
And it was like, how about you just learn to defend the pass? Like, I don't know.
But what you said right there, that could make it to the list. Also, dumb shit new people say.
Yes.
I just have to be faster.
I just have to be faster. I just have to be stronger. I just have to be yeah, it's like, no, like you're missing the point. But yeah, it was, that was an interesting conversation that, but I think it's in the same vein of, man, I would say that if you have, again, this isn't always the case, but it goes back to one of like the Jordan Peterson rules, like always assume that the person you're talking to knows something that you don't, right? And so if you don't understand something, assume that maybe especially if you're talking to a higher belt. So if you're a white belt or like a new blue belt and you're talking to a higher belt and you see them demonstrating a technique or whatever, and you don't understand how that would work, like in your mind, like, oh, that would never work if I did, you know, was whatever. Assume that they know something you don't, and approach it from that perspective. And you know, if you're going to ask questions, like ask questions from kind of that empty cup, trying to learn perspective rather than like full cup trying to prove your point perspective. But yeah, I'd say that's kind of the takeaway lesson from that. Like insert you know, there's a lot of different ways that this stupid thing will manifest itself, but just assume that if you don't understand why it would work, assume that you're the idiot. if you got no fucking color on your belt, like for sure.
And I think another lesson to extract from that is 99% of the time, if a technique you are trying isn't working, ramping up the aggression to make it work is probably not the answer.
No.
Your perceived lack of effort as for the reason why that technique is not working is incorrect. Most of the time.
Yeah.
Especially us guys. There's very rarely a time to where you're not trying hard enough at something to make it work.
Yeah.
So that's another lesson I would have to say.
Yeah. That kind of goes to our, like, you know, jiu-jitsu should be at like 60 to 80% max. Like 100% is not a technique.
It's not a technique.
Yeah, 100% speed is not a technique.
Not a technique.
Yeah. If that's what you're relying on, you're in trouble.
Why are you coming to class if you're just trying to be faster than everybody?
Faster or stronger or be able to like, you know, if I was going 100%, it's like, that's not, you know, technique. That's not what jiu-jitsu is about. And so, but if you don't, it's that whole like, you know, empty cup thing, the old analogy. It's like if you're coming to the master and your cup's already full or half full, like, you know, there's only so much you can take in. So like you need to empty that cup as a white belt, and man, you need to spend that first. You even like, you know, again, you're first getting into blue belt, because, you know, that's one of the things we've talked about in the blue belt blues. Like you start to learn some hard lessons at blue belt that like, oh, wait a minute, the world I thought I was getting some things going on at white belt, and now I'm realizing like, oh, wait a minute, like that was the minor leagues, like the A-ball. And now I'm like getting promoted to like AA or AAA. Like I'm not even in the major leagues yet, and it's like things speed up. Things are different at those higher levels, and so that's why it's like, man, you got to just assume that you don't know. And I remember the first time I saw the paper cutter choke. I remember thinking to myself, that'll never fucking work. Like that's a retarded looking move. It didn't. The first time I saw it didn't look like you'd be able to control that person when you reached under to grab their collar to trap their arm to set it up. Like just my understanding, which was shit at the time, was like, that'll never fucking work. It becomes one of my favorite chokes, first time you did it. I was like, oh, this is great. But I didn't vocalize it, and I just assumed that like there's something I'm not understanding here. But again, that's just my experience as a coach and making a lot of dumb mistakes in other sports. But yeah, man, don't fucking assume that you can just technical stand your way out of it, please. Please, man. So, all right. Anything else to add on that one?
No, I think
cool.
I'm good for that one.
Cool. I got one, man. I'm surprised that you didn't start out with this. Like
I was a little... I didn't really put a whole lot of thought into which one I would lead with.
No.
No, I definitely there's one I didn't want to lead with. I want to save a little bit in the list, but besides that, I was like,
yeah. Well, there's one you talk about quite often, which is when they ask, "Well, what if they do this?"
Oh yeah, that's on my list.
Yeah, I knew it would be. I mean,
what if?
The what if.
That's
question.
all I have it written down is what if.
Yeah, which is loosely related to the like, well, what if I just technical standed faster? But it's not the same thing. Like, what if is just like. You show a technique and then they're like, well,
I'll just do this.
Yeah, what if I just do this? Yeah, what if I did this?
Yeah, so is what we're saying. So we're not getting lost in the weeds here. Yeah, you teach a technique, or I teach a technique to a class, and then a new student will say, well, what if I just do this? Okay, that would stop the technique. I hate to break it to you guys, but there is no super secret jiu-jitsu move that will always fucking work on all opponents, man.
No.
There is a way to stop each and every move. If there was just one fucking secret move that could tap everybody, guess what?
It'd be a boring sport.
It'd be a boring ass sport.
I think
we would all just be trying to do that one move on each other.
Who can do it faster?
We wouldn't be in this whole fucking thing, man. So, there's always an answer to every goddamn fucking move. There's always a what if. That's all jiu-jitsu is. And we've said this a million goddamn times in this podcast. Is jiu-jitsu is nothing more than I do this, then you do that. And then you do this, and I do that. To the end of time.
Until one of us fucks up.
That's it.
That's it.
Until somebody taps.
Yep.
And then you just start again. And then it's just a series of questions and answers for each other. This and that. This and that.
Interesting thought problems.
That's all it is.
Physical consequences.
So yeah, there's always a what if.
Yeah. No, yeah, there's always a what if, and I guess it when you're in class and you're learning a technique and like what's coming. Like I guess the absurdity of it is well, you're not going to know what your opponent's doing. Like you have to understand the context of class. And so in class, like what they're doing. And so you would know ahead of time what to do. Like, but that's jiu-jitsu is like trying to figure that out in real time because your opponent's going to present you with a few problems and then you got to figure out what the right answer to them is. But yeah, dude, you can just get so lost in the weeds with the what if questions that, especially, as a white belt, like just don't be that dude. Don't be the dude always asking what if they do this. That's just like...
It's not going to get you anywhere.
No, it's going to confuse you and it's not going to make you a popular person in your class.
No.
Because you're wasting time. You only have so much time to train. And so, like, dude, that irritates the shit out of me when I'm in a class and it's like, anybody got any questions? And then, some fucking white belt will ask some dumbass question. And it's like, okay, now here we are, another 2-3 minutes trying to explain this. And like, that's my fucking wasted training time. So... Yeah, don't. And people who do that a lot, it's like, oh God, you start rolling your eyes. You're like, oh, dude, this is asking another dumbass question. So,
and there's one in every class.
There's one in every or every gym, I guess.
Every gym, yeah.
But yeah, don't be the what if guy for sure. So that is definitely on the top of my list of stupid shit white belts say. So, anyways, I don't know if you got any more to add to that one.
I'll go with the next one.
Yes.
Here. I've heard this on more than one occasion, is that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is not good for multiple attackers. Where do I start with this? God damn it. I don't even know where to start. This thing just agitates me so much. Well, first of all, what the fuck are you doing in your life that you're having to worry about getting jumped on
by multiple
attackers on a regular basis? That would be my first question.
Right.
I mean,
what life decisions are leading to this situation
I think
here?
we have bigger problems here.
Yeah.
What poor life decisions are you making if this is a constant fucking threat in your world? I mean, even cops and soldiers that, have a job to fight on a regular basis, their situational awareness is very good to where they're not putting themselves into a position to where they're not having to fight multiple attackers.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I have to say on that. If you're not a fucking cop or a soldier, there should be no way you're ever getting yourself into a situation where you're getting fucking jumped.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you live in a really bad part of town, but then you start getting really good at situational awareness, and you're not walking down a fucking dark alley at 2:00 in the goddamn morning.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, the other thing is, people get this skewed idea of martial arts from movies. They see a fucking Jackie Chan movie where he's fighting off 20 fucking dudes at a time. I hate to break it to you, that's not how it's going to go down. If you get fucking, I don't care how good you are at jiu-jitsu, fucking karate, name it. You can be Mike Tyson. I don't give a fuck. If there's fucking 10 dudes that want to beat the fuck out of him, guess what? He's probably going to get his fucking ass whooped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're not, what are you doing? God damn it, man. It's just such a stupid fucking question. I've heard that, like, I've heard it phrased as jiu-jitsu isn't good for multiple attackers. Well, that's obvious. Like, if you have to, for some fucking reason, fight more than one person on the street, no, you're not going to want to go to the ground and wrestle around with one of them. That's just obvious.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just get so... And then the other, I've heard this question is, like, what martial art is best for fighting multiple opponents? Because you will have a lot of martial arts out there that'll sell you on that.
Yeah.
Like, come to this Kempo karate class or whatever the fuck, Well, you can't do jiu-jitsu. You better come learn karate because it's better when you're fighting multiple opponents. Fuck right off with all that, man. Like, it's not going to work like the movies, dude.
You're not going to spin kick your way out of fucking multiple opponents.
No, dude. And if you don't believe me, go get yourself jumped and tell me how it works, man. I've been fucking jumped.
Yeah.
I don't care what you know. If you're busy fighting one dude and his buddy comes up from behind you and hits you in the head with a fucking beer bottle, guess what? I don't care what kind of fucking shit you know. That beer bottle's going to hurt. I got a fucking scar on my head from it. The reason I say beer bottle because I've been in that exact situation.
What kind of choices were you making in your life?
I was not making good fucking choices.
This is how you know.
No, me and my buddies were not making good choices.
It led to multiple attackers.
Yeah, we got into a fight with the big... We had 4 or 5 of us, but we got into a fight and there was like fucking 15 of these fucking guys. We didn't realize it. Bad choices, led me to getting hit by multiple attackers. It didn't matter. I don't know. I could just go on for days about this. Like,
yeah,
it's just dumb.
Yeah, I think
just dumb.
Couple things with that. One, your best self-defense against multiple attackers is running the fuck away.
I was gonna go down this road.
Like, yeah. So I mean, you'd have to assume if you're dealing with multiple attackers that man, dude, shit has just gone so fucking sideways at that point that you know what your best self-defense at that point is?
Fucking run.
Well, no. Like, but if you can't run, you know what I mean? So you've allowed yourself to get into a situation where there's multiple attackers and you were so fucking unaware of what was going on that you are in a position that you can no longer run. And now you have to actually fight multiple attackers. You know what your best fucking, at that point is? Fucking gun.
A gun.
A gun. Like... I mean, that's again, like, I will say there is a certain psychology to it, right? Because like Musashi famously had a fight where he fought a fucking band of dudes, like a bunch of dudes, and he talks about in his book like the strategy of fighting multiple attackers. And, one, he had a 3-foot fucking razor blade in one hand and a 1.5 foot one in the other hand. So, I mean, he wasn't just using, hand-to-hand combat against multiple attackers. It was a little bit different. But there is a thing, like a lot of times there's you single out the fucking top dude and you fucking take him out first. And there is a psychology a lot of times in groups. You know what I mean? Like, they're not all alpha males. Very rarely are you going to get in a situation where, like, unless it's a hired group of assassins who are coming for you, which, again, life choices, people. Life choices.
A hired group of assassins. Yeah, we watch too many movies.
But you know what I mean, though? Yeah. If you've got a group of 10 dudes, you've probably got a leader, an alpha male.
Right.
You've probably got, like, 2 or 3 dudes who are kind of his lieutenants. And then you got, like, varying down. And there is a weak link in that chain. There is a dude who will be the first to turn tail and run. In a lot of cases. And so if you can strategically, fuck the psychology of the lower people by taking out the top 2 or 3 people and doing it in like as explosively and as violent a manner as you can, like you can, but again,
that works in feudal Japan.
Fuck, man. Yes. Unless you're Musashi, I would not rely on that
We're in
as
the
your
year
thing.
2018.
Yes.
And what you said perfectly at the beginning, and I've taught, several like self-defense seminars, and even to women and people and kids and of all ages. And dude, I almost, like the past few years that I've done this, I always start out the seminar with like, your very best self-defense is keep yourself in adequate physical condition and being able to fucking run. That's it. I don't care if you're fighting one person or if we're back to this question. You got into yourself a situation where there's a bunch of scary people around. But keeping yourself in decent physical condition to where you can fucking run away from the situation, that is your best self-defense ever.
Yeah.
Being a goddamn track star. That's it.
Yes, yeah.
That is it, man. Simple as fucking that. I don't care what ninja moves you want to think you're going to learn at jiu-jitsu class. Like, no, man. Just don't be a retard. Pay attention to your surroundings. If shit's getting elevated, like if you're at a party or bar and you don't like the vibe, things going sideways, like just get the fuck out of there. Yeah. Don't be a dummy and be physically fit enough to run away.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
That is your best number one self-preservation strategy right there.
Mr. Miyagi said, man, we learn to fight so we don't have to fight.
Yeah, man. That way you can see the signs of it.
Yeah, exactly.
You see the sign. You see the early signs of people getting ramped up. Like if you're getting into a heated discussion with somebody, you see the telltale signs.
Yep.
A fist getting clenched. This or that. Like
you just know to disengage.
Disengage
get the fuck away.
And get out of there, man. Like
yeah,
all of it's so avoidable.
Yeah,
and so and just that. I think I'm coming from that aspect of that question is just so fucking ludicrous. Yeah, it's never gonna happen, man.
Yeah.
If you're making super poor life choices.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like again, if you are a cop, a soldier, a bouncer, but then again, situational awareness is gonna keep you safe.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, for sure.
That's the biggest thing. There's
for
no
sure.
magic martial art.
Yeah, I know.
I've known several jiu-jitsu buddies that were bouncers that would bounce on the weekends, and they treated them just fine, man, because they would just slap a rear naked choke on the biggest troublemaker they had to, drag him out of the bar, and then his buddies would be dealing with it.
See what I mean, man? Yeah.
They would.
Yeah.
If shit was going sideways, that was
psychology.
That was the move. Get it from behind the dude, rear naked choke, drag him out the door, throw him on the sidewalk, lock the door, go back in, grab his next buddy, fucking shoot. That was the move.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, the multiple attackers one is tough because that's just like I don't know what the fuck is gonna like you have such a that's like almost there's such a degree of luck involved in that, right? God, and so it's so your best efforts are in making sure you never get in that. But I say kind of in that same vein is one that I had down, which is this wouldn't work in a self-defense situation.
Oh, yeah, that's on my list too.
Okay, so again, so let's say we're not fighting 10 trained assassins that have come for you. We've got one regular dude and you got a self-defense situation. Like again, run. Like that's your fucking best. I don't know. My thoughts on this, like one is like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, especially kind of like it's a sport, right? On some level. And so like we're not punching and kicking each other. We're like it's a grappling sport, and it allows you to train a part of self-defense. So it's like, you know, if you see a technique and you're like, oh, that wouldn't work in a self-defense situation because I could just like punch or kick my way out of it. And it's like, well, guess what, motherfucker? If you're punching and kicking, guess who else can punch and kick? Yeah. You know what I mean? So it changes. Like to think that you can punch and kick your way out of a technique, but the dude on top can't punch and kick his way into making you, you know, stay where you're at and defend that rather than punching. You know what I mean? Like, so it's not like, so us deciding that we're not going to punch and kick each other, like, you know, creates this situation where it's like it's a different thing, and it's a different thing. It's a different thing, and so we don't. It's like it's just kind of a different thing. And I would say that if you're number one, if you're really worried about self-defense, that's really truly a concern of yours. You shouldn't just be training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You should learn how to kick. You should learn how to throw a punch. You should learn, like, I mean, I would say like you have to round out your arsenal a little bit, and again, this would also determine like what kind of school are you going to, because there's definitely, I'd say there's a lot of people who would argue that, well, what you're talking about isn't the traditional Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu that you know, because traditionally it's take them down, secure dominant top position, get past, you know, the legs and all that stuff, and so you're not going to the ground. You're taking them to the ground. And so, and we talked about, I think in like how the self-defense part of it, like it changes that. Like you being on top from a self-defense perspective makes way more sense than you being a leg lock wizard. And so, you know, so if you're going to a school, like I would, you know, again, like I would say like our jiu-jitsu classes, and again, like you're going against somebody who knows nothing on the street, dude, you'd be surprised. Even like a sport jiu-jitsu player is going to fucking have their time with someone who has no clue what's going on. But yeah, man, it's just, I think that you got to, you know, keep that in perspective when you're fucking making those judgments.
Yeah. So yeah, that wouldn't work in self-defense. Okay. First of all, I've spent, I don't know how many years of my life in different forms of martial arts. I was in Tang Sudo, Muay Kwan, Korean karate when I was a kid up until like the age of 12 or 13. I was in Hapkido for a lot of years. I've done judo tournaments, jiu-jitsu. I've done a lot of different fucking martial arts. No doubt in my mind, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is the best. Again, I'll put my fucking money on it for several reasons. Even if you take a sport-heavy jiu-jitsu school, you're just a few small tweaks away from making it good self-defense. Just very small tweaks.
Yeah.
So there's that. Second of all, like if you're in a class and, you know, you're going in and you're learning, let's say, sport jiu-jitsu, and for you to make the comment that wouldn't work in self-defense situation, it's just fucking stupid.
Right.
That's like going out onto the hockey rink and grabbing fucking Wayne Gretzky and saying, hey, that wouldn't work in the soccer field.
Or going into a boxing ring and being like, that wouldn't work if I kicked you.
Yeah, you go to you know, anything. Go onto a basketball court and, well, that wouldn't work on the football field. It's two different fucking things, man.
Yeah.
What are we talking about here?
Yeah,
You're learning the sport here. Did anybody ever say to you, like, hey, we're teaching self-defense today, and then they start teaching fucking worm guard?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Unless that's happening, shut your fucking pie hole. You know, that's not the situation. That's not what's going on here. So I think that comment comes from a place of like an ego and ignorance. You know,
yeah.
I really do. It's like you say, you're comparing apples to oranges.
Yeah.
And it's not.
That's it, man. We're making a deal not to punch and kick each other, so now it's a different thing.
Yeah, and if you want to change the rule set
to
where we can punch and kick and bite and eye gouge, yes, we're going to have to fucking change the technique.
Yeah, it's not going to work. I mean, even like the combat jiu-jitsu stuff is showing like, man, once you throw in even open hand slaps from the ground,
things change.
The
rule set changes.
Yeah.
It's so obvious to me. It's fucking frustrating.
So if you want fucking self-defense, go sign up for combat jiu-jitsu and that'll be closer. But
if you're really worried about self-defense, still just do jiu-jitsu, man. Like, and I think, I mean, I could go on. We could have a whole podcast of why jiu-jitsu is the best for self-defense. I think the number one reason is you practice. The number one reason why Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is the best for self-defense as opposed to a lot of other traditional martial arts is the simple fact that we learn a technique and then we try it on each other. And so and then once it comes to live sparring, live rolling, you are trying to apply techniques to a partner that is trying to resist 100%.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are engaged in a fucking battle. When you get out on the street in a self-defense situation and you get engaged in a battle with somebody, it doesn't feel any different. You're used to another human being trying to fucking dominate you, and you're used to trying to dominate another human being. You're used to that feeling. Like, as soon as you clinch up with somebody, you get, like, oh, you've been here a million fucking times in jiu-jitsu class. It's no different. Where a lot of other martial arts fail, you know, when they're teaching self-defense, let's say, they say, oh, well, our techniques are too dangerous. We can't do these 100%. So they're doing it in a very controlled situation. I'm going to throw a right straight hand punch. You're going to execute this wrist lock to this fucking move, to this eye gouge, to this groin stomp. Or, you know, some fucking ridiculous shit.
Or even if you do Taekwondo, there's rules on what you can kick and where you can't.
But there's what I
just mean, like, even if you're kicking and punching each other. Sorry, yeah.
That's what I'm getting at. They are practicing in a very structured, controlled environment. And in a lot of those traditional martial arts, they're not used to having a human being come at them 100% when they're trying to apply these techniques. They're not. And so when someone really comes at them, the panic sets in. If you don't fucking believe me, go back and watch the very first UFC, like UFC 1, 2, 3 maybe. There was a lot of these traditional martial arts fucking assholes that came in, and they would show like these training montages before, and these guys were doing fucking killer shit in their little training warm-up videos, man. They were, you know, breaking boards and bricks and doing fucking spin kicks. Looked amazing. The bell rang. They came out swinging like they were two 12-year-old fucking schoolgirls and never been in a fight. Yeah. You know, like, it doesn't work like that. When you got somebody really trying to cave your fucking face in, things change. Yeah. And that's why jiu-jitsu is so good, is because you're used to it, man. Yeah. It doesn't feel any different. Yeah. Like, you feel what it's like when another strong, physically capable human being getting a hold of you. You recognize that. You're like, oh, I felt this before. It doesn't throw up a bunch of fucking warning bells like, oh, shit. Yeah. You're like, oh, this is another day in the park. Yeah, no, so, man. I think that's the biggest reason why it's so much better than all the other martial arts. No, I totally agree, man. That randori aspect. Yep. I mean, because I remember I did a martial art in high school, and we would spar. And you know, we did punching and kicking, but it was like we couldn't punch and kick to the head. And so there was always this like this feeling in the back of my mind, like, man, what would happen in a situation where the guy that I'm going against isn't playing by the same rules? You know, like if he punches me in the face, is this stuff still going to work? And so there's always this doubt in the back of my mind. So that's kind of one of the things with a lot of the traditional martial arts is you're assuming that the person that you're going against is doing the same thing as you are, is playing by the same rules, is going to get set in the same stance and react and act a certain way. And that's one of the things I think is really cool about jiu-jitsu is like, dude, when I slap hands with somebody, I got no clue. Like if it's the first time we roll, it's like, I can't assume anything. I don't know what your style is. I don't know what moves you like. I don't know how you string those things together. So there's no assumptions on, oh, this guy's going to line up in this stance. And now I'm going to go from that. I'm going to base my attacks. And I think that's kind of why you saw a lot of that 12-year-old schoolgirl crap with the martial artist guys in those UFCs is one, the adrenaline dump. You know, I do think I will challenge you a little bit. I will say, like, getting into a fight with somebody, I don't care how much you wrestle, like, it's not going to feel the same. It's going to feel more similar to you than it will to them. Right. But there's still that adrenaline, dump. I agree. It will. And I know what you meant. But it won't be so foreign. Exactly. Yeah. No, I know. No. So, but it's that, and that you come out and you're assuming your opponent to do this, and they do this, and then it's like, well, fuck, let's just start wailing on each other. So that the fact that jiu-jitsu is so open-ended and there's so many different ways to solve the problem, and we don't have these set stances and set things that we kind of rely on the other guy playing by this rule for us to having all of our stuff based on. I think it's important for sure, man. But
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think that's if you were going to do one, because I feel way more confident, doing jiu-jitsu and, my ability to defend myself than I do anything else, for sure. Because like you said, like I'm going against, you're able to apply the techniques against people who know what the fuck's going on and are trying to resist, and you're like, oh yeah, this does work. Like, so yeah, it gives you that confidence and that it's going on. But man, I would say like if self-defense is your concern, again, like so much of that is situational awareness. So much of that is being able to control your mental state when you get in that position. You know what I mean? So it's like, God damn, if that's really truly your number one goal and you're expecting like your Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class to give you everything that you need to be an expert in self-defense, like it's, I don't know, you're expecting the wrong thing out of the wrong thing, I think. So it's like, it's keeping it in context. It's like, yeah, it's really good for self-defense, but like, dude, if your goal is to become a fucking expert in self-defense, like, you may need something else than just Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class, and you also may need to wonder, like, why am I so obsessed with becoming an expert in self-defense?
Exactly.
Because
it boils back to poor life choices, situational awareness. Again, if you chose a career, police officer, soldier,
right,
you're going to be more likely to have to apply these things.
Yeah,
Jiu-Jitsu is perfect for it. But like we said with multiple attackers, your best self-defense, situational awareness, and being able to run the fuck away. Very, very few times in life are you going to have to be in a situation where you can't run. Someone breaks into your house or something, so you're obviously not going to run away from that. You're going to stay there and defend your family, protect your family. But you know what? You know what the best tool for that is?
Yeah.
12-gauge shotgun.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't care what jiu-jitsu, if someone breaks into your house and you get yourself a 12-gauge shotgun, situation's handled.
Yeah.
You're not going to fucking fly and armbar that guy in the hallway.
No, man.
You got to protect your family. You're going to fucking blast that dude with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Tell the cops to come pick him up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyways.
No, that's, yeah. So, anyway, so self-defense, it's don't judge the effectiveness of a move by your assumption on how effective it would be in a self-defense situation. So, again, man, you never know what fuck will work. Like, I know leg locks technically aren't the best thing to know in a self-defense situation, but God damn it, I'm glad I know them. And yeah, exactly, man. Like, you never know if you find yourself in a situation and you fucking snatch that leg and break his leg or whatever. It's like, anyways, dude, what was it? I mean, Dylan Dennis, that dude, he got a fucking toe fold in his MMA match. You know? He did, dude. He went straight, like, he was going for that fucking leg.
I think there's a story. You can look it up online. One of the Diaz brothers, the older one, Nick, he was out training for like a triathlon, and he was out in his like spandex bicycle outfit, riding his road bike, and he got jumped. They live in a bad neighborhood, and these fucking characters didn't realize it was Nick Diaz, and I think he ended up like heel hooking one of the guys or something. I can't remember the story. It happened a lot of years ago. He ended up fucking these two dudes up. Some dude in spandex, you're thinking just they were going to try to fucking
oh my god,
jump him, and it ended up being Nick Diaz.
Yeah.
He hooking a fucking gangster.
So, but again, that goes our, so he's just riding his bike and he finds himself in this weird situation. So sometimes it does happen. Sometimes it does happen, but again, man, it's Anyways. So, all right, I think so. What's your next one?
YouTube.
Oh my God! Yes.
I don't know. I've heard there's a lot of different iterations of this. That's not how I saw it on YouTube, or this is what I was watching on YouTube. Anything to do with fucking YouTube.
I learned this on YouTube.
I learned this on YouTube. It never. After that comment of that is not how I saw this on YouTube. The rest of the conversation does not go well.
No, man. No. If you're a white belt,
stay the fuck off YouTube.
Stay the fuck off of YouTube. And if you're not going to, if you're going to go, dude, is Cyborg trying? What's
dude, this is a good match. No, this is, sorry guys, but this is Herbert Santos and Cyborg. They're fucking battling, dude.
Yeah, dude.
These are a couple of animals.
I know. Yeah, we went to a seminar with Cyborg, dude.
Neither one of these guys fucking go light at any point in their life.
No.
And they are big human beings.
He was, I'll I'll fucking call you out a little bit embarrassed.
call me
Just
out.
Cyborg, where we went, he wrestled with everybody there. And at one point, he had Rob pinned to the ground with his forehead.
And that's all he was.
That's all he had was his forehead, pinning you to the ground, and he was like running around like north-south on you, side to side, with just his forehead like pinning you to the ground. And like legitimately, man, you're like fucking, you know, after Kevin showed, you're like, oh, just shove his head off to the side. It made sense, but in the moment, man, it was like, dude, you were fucking pinned under that giant of a human.
Yeah, the guy's 230 fucking pounds. And
he moves.
And he moves like a cat.
Yeah.
Shoving his head off to the side.
That
In
was
theory,
there was nothing good was going to happen.
It sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. But I just remember that, man. It was like, oh my God, dude. He is dancing around Rob with just his forehead on his chest.
You know what's funny about that role, too? I don't know if you realized it. So, you know, like you said, he was just there wrestling with everybody before the seminar. And I walked in and slapped hands with him. And, like, I was, like, you know, awestruck. Like, kind of like starstruck, you know. Like, I've been watching that dude's instructionals for years. And, like, I haven't even met him yet. Like, we walked in.
Yeah. They've been rolling. Yeah, we drove up there.
We walked in, slapped the gi on, and I was like, well, I guess this is the thing. And so the first time I met, like, basically one of my jiu-jitsu heroes, I was slapping hands and wrestling with him. I was like, what is going on here? I felt like I had stepped out of the Matrix for a minute. I was like, dude, he armbarred me in, like, 5 seconds. I don't know if anybody else really caught it that was watching wrestling. Like, dude, literally, like, we slap hands. Okay, let's stretch it. Maybe 10 seconds later, I was tapping. And it was so quick, I tapped. I just tapped real quick. We reset grips, and we just kept going. It was so fast. I'm pretty sure no one else even. That's how fast it was. I was like, okay, we're playing by a different fucking rules here. I'm dealing with a different fucking human being here, man.
He was just establishing the dominance hierarchy.
I think I was
quickly.
still brown belt.
You were a brown belt, yeah.
Brown belt at the time.
Yeah.
And so he wasn't sure what he was getting himself into.
No,
so just to make sure I knew where everything was in the world. He let me know pretty fast.
Yeah. No. Well, you do. I mean, you know, you do look like, you know, get the fucking shaved head, a little menacing. It's like, I got to figure out this dude. Do I got to do the settle down rowdy on him real quick? Or that's where we got that from, man. He showed us to put the fucking fist under their lower back, the soul crusher.
The soul crusher.
It's just, he's like, we call it the settle down rowdy in Brazil or whatever.
I still do it once in a while to settle people down.
Yeah, every once in a while I'll remember to do it. I'm like, you know, but
anyways.
Yes, so YouTube is we're back to that. That's right. We were talking about the match. We were talking about YouTube, and then we started talking about the match that's going on right now. And then we started talking about the fact that we went to a seminar with one of the guys that was wrestling in the match right now.
I don't know if we have the skills to keep conversation going, watch jiu-jitsu. I don't know. It's good practice for us.
No, we're doing all right.
We're maintaining.
It's a little color commentary on stuff people can't see. It's got nothing to do with what we're watching, actually. But anyways, back to YouTube. So yes, I have the image in my mind is Saturday drill class. You walking up to a couple white belts flailing around on the ground and going like, "What are you doing? Where did you learn this?" And the poor motherfucker saying, I saw this on YouTube before I came in. And it's like, dude, it is so hilarious, man. The darkness just descends over your face from the frustration of it. And having to explain that, like, man, you don't even know where to start. It's like, you shouldn't be on YouTube learning shit. Definitely shouldn't be on YouTube learning shit fucking right before you come to drill class. You've had no chance to practice it or anything like that. But, man, it'll just lead to confusion. I think that, staying away from that shit for the beginning. But
just come to class, man.
Just come to class, man.
Take notes, and listen to your coaches.
Trust that your coaches know what's going on. Now, with that said, obviously you're going to watch some.
And there is plenty of good stuff on there. But the problem is that white belt, you don't know.
Your jiu-jitsu filter is not good enough.
It's not strong. You're not picking and choosing, appropriate things.
Yeah, or getting what you should from it. Because, man, you watch the wrong thing. Because, again, the moves aren't jiu-jitsu. They are the principle. They're the window to the principles that are jiu-jitsu. And so, watching a lot of YouTube videos, especially at white belt, because a lot of times you're doing that because you're becoming like a technique collector. You're still thinking of jiu-jitsu as a collection of techniques. And so, I have this problem, So what technique do I need to collect to solve it? And if you don't really understand kind of some of the principles behind what you're watching, and you start doing a technique, and it can fuck you up. Like, you can actually start learning like bad jiu-jitsu. Maybe you get away with it because, you know, maybe the people you're rolling with don't, you know, it's something new that they don't see. Or we were rolling today, actually. I was drilling, I was trying to move on you, and I was like, dude, I gotta see if this works, man. I was hitting this the other day, but it was on like blue belts and white belts, and I'm not 100% sure that it really works, because, you know, they don't really know what the fuck's going on. And sure enough, you're like, no, dude, that's fucking bullshit. Like, it's not gonna work. I'm like, all right, let me go to something else. But yeah, a lot of times you don't realize at white belt and blue belt, when you're rolling with other white belts and blue belts, like, dude, you may be getting away with something that you learned on YouTube, because the people that you're rolling with are fucking idiots too, and they just don't know any better. So, yeah, man. So learn your shit from your coaches. If you have a problem, ask one of your coaches. Don't go to YouTube and search mount escapes, right? Like, how about you have your fucking coach figure out why your elbow knee escape sucks ass, right? Like, that shit works, man. The basics work. There's usually just so many flaws. There's just so many little holes that you don't even see that make you think they don't work, and that you need to find something new. Anyways, man, yeah, you can just fucking get so lost that way. So I just see it happen, man. I see people who mean well just confusing themselves by...
And that's what it is. It's well-intentioned. You know, they just got that insatiable thirst for knowledge. Oh, right. I want to get better. I want to get my ass kicked. I love this new jiu-jitsu thing. I just, you know, I'll just consume all the jiu-jitsu I can in every form. You know, so I get it. I totally understand. But you are just confusing yourself. Yeah. You really are.
Yeah, in the long run, man. So yeah, you gotta have a few years under your belt before the instructionals and the YouTube videos.
Yeah, and they say on that, you know, yeah, save your money on the instructionals until you get some time under your belt. You know, you don't need to spend the money right away. Just show up to class and train. And
yep, you'll get more out of it.
You'll get more out of it.
For sure. So, all right, man, I had YouTube there. So... what else you got?
Oh, I don't want to steal your thunder with this one. I think I'm almost certain I only got about 2 left.
Okay, I think I got 1 left.
Dear, go ahead.
It's our...
I bet you we both have it. I'm sure.
We both have it, man. It's the higher belts can't tap me.
Yeah, most higher belts can't tap me.
Yes.
We've heard this.
We have heard this, and I have to be honest with you. I am guilty of having, not necessarily that, but I've been guilty of thinking that there were higher belts that couldn't tap me when I was a white belt, that I didn't realize just weren't tapping me because they didn't want to tap me. So yeah,
so
it's a dangerous thing to think.
It is a dangerous thing to think. It is possible, don't get me wrong, but the likelihood of that, especially if you are a white belt, and this these people that we're speaking about are purple, brown, or black, and you are getting it twisted that these people aren't tapping you because they can't. Probably not the case. Like I said, it is feasible.
Yeah.
We are both referring to a certain situation to where we heard this. It wasn't. It was fairly recently to where we heard this comment, and not only did this person think that these higher belts couldn't tap them, these higher belts were not only obviously higher belts, but they were all physically superior to this person.
Yeah.
Bigger, stronger, faster.
Yes.
So even without jiu-jitsu, this bigger, stronger, faster person could inflict enough pain on you to make you want to say uncle. Simple as that. Okay, so now we put jiu-jitsu techniques and jiu-jitsu rules into it, and to still think that you are not tapping because your jiu-jitsu is so good, you are living in an alternate fucking reality, my friend.
Yeah, so, yeah, man. That is...
don't get it twisted.
Don't get it twisted.
Don't get it twisted.
No, man. It's it's one of those things that you don't realize when you first start rolling, and as you get more experience, you're like, you know, you get gears and you get like things you want to do, and too, like, dude, white belts, and we've talked about this before, like, fuck, dude, like that's you can waste 5 minutes with a white belt easy. Just get them some stupid grips and they're just all stiff, and it's like, man, I'm not learning shit here. And they'll get through that 5 minutes and be like, I did great. I didn't get tapped. And it's like, no, you didn't, man. Like this was you weren't. This was not jujitsu that you were using here to accomplish this. And as you train more, you're gonna learn that. You're gonna realize, like, oh, wait a minute, like I was just being a really bad training partner. Like I was kind of being an asshole. And so, yeah, like that's kind of part of it too.
That comment can only come from a place of, I'm going to say it like this, and it's going to sound bad, but extreme ignorance.
Yes.
And I'm just saying that meaning like just being very new to it. Being so new to it that you don't realize when people are letting you get away with stuff. Yeah. Because like I say, you're so new to things, you don't understand when people are letting go with things or passing by things. Like it's just all too new to you. Yeah, so that's what I mean by extreme ignorance. I'm not saying ignorant like in a bad way, just and lack of experience, dude, extreme lack of experience.
Yes, I would say like probably if everyone's honest with themselves, they probably had some version of this thought go through their head as a white belt, because we all walked into this so ignorant about jiu-jitsu and what was really going on. So even if it wasn't like just a full-blown delusional, like, fuck, none of these higher belts can tap me and I'm doing really great, to just like, oh, I had a really good round against so-and-so, they didn't, they have a tough time getting me or whatever. And then, yeah, realizing like, oh, wait a minute, so-and-so is just kind of being nice. And now that he realizes that I'm a bigger threat, like, oh, now I'm really seeing what he's getting. And so everyone's guilty of this thought. It's on some level as a white belt. I think nobody can. But it's just it's understanding it. Like I said, the whole point of this was to try to help educate people, so that if you are a newer guy listening to this and you've had those thoughts, like realizing like, oh, wait a minute, maybe I should stop before I actually say something to somebody and look like an idiot. But yeah, man, just assume if you're doing good against a higher belt, it's because they're letting you, not because you're some fucking jiu-jitsu prodigy. Like, you'll know pretty quickly if you're a jiu-jitsu prodigy, and they're very few and far between. Yeah. So if you think you're one, I think if you add it up and express it as a percentage of the population, it's 0%.
0%.
That's one of my new favorite. I'm going. It's like,
yeah, talking about this brings up a situation I've dealt with in my jiu-jitsu path here. Is because there's a lot of times as a higher belt when I'm rolling with lower belts that I will let myself get deep into situations. Yes. And sometimes I get caught. It just happens, man. I let myself get a little too deep, right? Because I like to get really deep into a fucked up situation and try to work my way out. Just good training. Well, I was rolling with this lower belt and let myself get really deep, and I got caught. And afterwards, this person decided to tell me all about their extensive setup, how they got to that technique, and how they caught me. They were not privy to the fact that I
You knew what was going on.
I let the situation develop and tried to work my way out. I couldn't. I had to tap. So just to rectify the situation, I beat the fuck out of this person. And then they quickly realized, like, I didn't get him there. Yeah. He put himself there. So, yeah. Yeah. That happens a lot, too.
Yeah. But if you don't know, you don't know.
If you don't know, you don't know, man.
And, yeah, you can walk away with a really skewed sense of... I remember, God, somebody... someone who saying something along the lines like, well, I read, as a white belt, that if you can just get, through a round with a higher belt without tapping, then, that's really good. Like, you've kind of won. And I was just like, but that's the wrong mentality as a white belt. Like, again, like, if you're not getting tapped as a white belt, it's either A, because they're not threatened by you yet or whatever, they're choosing not to tap you, or B, you're doing something really stupid. Like, you're overusing your strength, you're overusing your flexibility, you're overusing something that it's just more annoying, and it's annoying enough to where they're just like, man, fuck this shit. Like I don't really care enough to have to fucking really go to bully jiu-jitsu mode to get through that, because that's the thing they don't understand. Dude, a good knee in the eye socket will fucking take care of a lot of these things that people are like, oh, I'm really good at holding this off, or I'm really fucking, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, dude, good knee on belly, a good knee in the eye socket, sometimes a combination of both, and you'd be surprised. So again, like, we're choosing not to do that to you because, like, we don't want to
break all our toys.
Yeah, we don't want to break all of our toys at first. So, but then if you come away from that interaction with a skewed sense of what's going on there, again, you're like, oh great, I'm not getting tapped, and so I'm just going to keep doing more of that. And that fucks up your progress, your jiu-jitsu progress. Like, you should be getting tapped out as a white belt. You should be taking chances. You should be learning to avoid using those natural gifts that you bring to the table, because those are the things that will fuck you all up. So, what do we got here? The Vinny and Gordon thing?
Yes, Vinny Magalhaes and Gordon Ryan.
Dude.
We might have to end this podcast and watch this match.
I do have to.
So, I will.
All right, send it on this one.
This is the one that I am certain you haven't seen yet.
Okay, I want to hear it.
This is not so much a stupid thing a white belt said, and did. I had this character show up to class, and he was coming out on the mat, and he was going to train with wide receiver gloves. Those really grippy gloves?
Yeah.
It's because his grip always got tired. He didn't like his grip always. He felt like his grip was really getting real tired when he was doing jiu-jitsu, and he was losing grips. So his solution was to wear wide receiver gloves.
Wow.
That was probably one of the biggest knucklehead white belt things I've ever fucking seen.
I have not seen or heard anything along those lines.
I saw it.
But
I fucking saw it.
I would say, like anything where you're like, I need some outside piece of equipment that's not part of my gi and belt to solve a problem that I have.
Yep. His forearms are getting tired and he was losing grips. So he's going to get wide receiver gloves.
I think he's just, that's pretty funny, man.
Yep.
So we'll leave it on that with the vision of Rob with the darkness over his face staring at some dude, with wide receiver gloves on.
Like, dude, take those things off. What are you doing?
That's a good visual, I think, to end the podcast on. So
sounds good.
Yeah, man. We're gonna watch this match here, and Vinny's on top at the moment, so it'll be interesting to see where it goes from here.
And we probably came across as being a bunch of assholes. We love white belts. We were all white belts at one time.
Yeah.
We were all white belts at one time. We've all done stupid shit. And still to this day, we do and say stupid things. So I don't want to be, too harsh.
No.
It's more, we say stupid shit.
It's fun. It's tongue-in-cheek humor.
Trying to be funny, but with lessons.
Yeah. Because like I said at the beginning, man, the point is educational. It's like there's a reason that these things are stupid, right? So like if we were just on here saying like, can you believe that like Connor's a vegetarian, right? Like,
no, we didn't even talk about that.
No, we'll just leave it at that. We'll save that one for. But anyways, see, that's just like unconstructive making fun of someone, right? But that's not what we did here. We
tough love.
It was an episode of tough love. Yeah, it was more like, hey, here's why these things are stupid. So hopefully we can help people learn these lessons, the non-hard way. And yeah, that's it, man. No, it came from a place of love, but sometimes you gotta fucking be able to laugh at ourselves. Because, dude, like I said, we've said and done a lot of this shit. Like I said, I've fucking been embarrassed.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, So, anyways,
let's call that a wrap.
Let's call it a wrap, man. Watch this match and go from there. So, cool. Right on, guys. Guess we'll talk to everybody next time.
Sounds good.
Okay.
See ya. Thank you all for listening. You can find us on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else you listen to podcasts. Please make sure to subscribe and leave us a review. It really does help and will allow us to keep putting out episodes. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas, hit us up at grumpyguybjj@gmail.com. Also, go to our website, grumpyguybjj.com, and get signed up for podcast updates and get our free BJJ Improvement Starter Kit. That's it for now, so get on the mat, train hard, and talk to you all next week.
With a permanent rep, a hermit now, boom. Doggy stool, foggy, cool, got froggy, outside Molly dude. Now they're calling Daisy Duke, hanging by the lace of their shoes. No trace of the tools. Shaped into face, fuck the rules. Snooze, you lose. One eye always open, in times two. No clue, but soon a brief monsoon might give you a view to choose. Stay tuned, include, won't conclude. To the end is near, beware there's consequences for what you do. To meaning demon, a devil of many levels. I keep on feeding for several of them rebels. Me, myself, and I. Me, myself, and I.